Hey, everybody, it is so good to see you guys again this Tuesday evening, January 6th, 2026. Good to have you here again tonight, this evening. We are excited to do the show, LW and I, because there's a lot going on about January 6th and the 5 years later anniversary. We also got some last minute stuff that just came in regarding Kristi Noem and what's going on in Minnesota. That is a big, huge mess. We did break talking about that last night, but today we are going to talk about Nick Shirley. He's the 23-year-old that broke all this open. Kristi Noem is there in Minnesota today, and they are taking care of all the fraud and illegal stuff going on there with the Somalis. So we're going to cover that as well. Plus, LW has a big announcement to make tonight, so we're really excited about that. So some fun and good conversation. We hope you guys have your thinking caps on and your opinions ready to go, ready to type in there, because we look forward to having a great conversation with you tonight. And I will be right back with LW right after this.
Hey, welcome back, LWN tonight. It's going to be a fun night. We have a major announcement to make at the end of the show, so stick with us. As always, I have my co-host. I don't even know. Is it co-host? Is it navigator? Is it producer? Tammy wears so many different hats, and she does a fabulous job putting these shows together for us because I work a lot and it's even getting busier for me. So appreciate all the hard work that she puts into each and every one of these shows. And we are going to talk about J6 5 years later. Saw some stuff on Facebook where officers were tearing up and saying that they had PTSD from January 6th of 2021. We'll talk about that tonight. We got some breaking news. And of course, we're going to talk about our wonderful merchandise. I'm wearing the California shirt tonight. So check this out.
Let's see. Oh, that's amazing. That looks really, really good. Very good.
Yeah, so we started doing animal shirts for each state, and War Machine's trying to pick the state animal, and some of them I don't know if it's the state animal, the state dinosaur, the state whatever, but lots of fun in the store. There's the link right there at the bottom of my screen. If you guys want to check that out, you guys can check that out. The mods will drop the link in chat. And of course, Jeff B, the one and only Jeff B, is the one producing all these shirts for us. His team makes them. So far, I mean, it's been pretty quick to get them within 14 business days usually. Mm-hmm. Here's the first question for tonight. For everybody who's watching live, for anybody who watches later, have you ordered any new merchandise yet? And what do you think? Have you received it? Would like to see the comments there. And again, you can comment later if you'd like. But yeah, just a lot of stuff happening in the news.
Yes, and let me say, this is the other LWN shirt. It's We the People, and it says Liberty Warrior Nation below it. It's very comfy, very good. I ordered a large just so women have a general idea. It's because it's kind of like a unisex shirt. This is a large, so there is a lot of room into it. I've already washed it, so I would definitely say if you want it fitted, go down a size. And if you want it a bigger like I like them, then go up a size and you'll be all set. And they are very comfortable. After you wash them, like I said, they get a little bit softer and stuff. And they really are pretty darn good t-shirts. This one's like a blue. And I love the We the People and the flag. So I think that was a good one that War Machine came up with. And I'm looking forward to all the different ones that he's coming up with. That's for sure. We're going to have a lot of fun with these shirts.
Yeah, pretty cool. I definitely think that War Machine comes up with some really cool ideas for the shirts, and I think we're working on tumblers next. So that's the shirt that I wore last night. That's the 250-year anniversary celebration t-shirt that we came out with that War Machine created for us. So pretty cool shirt. And then here's the Texas Longhorn. I almost wore this one tonight. I have this shirt. I thought it was pretty cool. And then here's another one that War Machine created for us. It's another celebration shirt. So just lots of options for you there. And we're just kicking it along here in 2026, Tammy. It's the 6th of January already. And again, an anniversary of J6. And we're going to go into detail and talk about what happened that fateful day and some other things there, Tammy.
Yeah. So we can start off with the J6 stuff, this is the whole thing. It's hard for me to believe it's been 5 years. Okay. And the bad thing about it, there's not anybody, not one person that's been held accountable as of yet. And that is the big problem. But what we do have on the good news is that the White House did put up a link, and I dropped it in chat, and we're going to cover that in a second. And it is all about J6. And what it is, it says you really want to know what happened. It gives you the timeline, the breakdown of it hour by hour. And there's also a couple videos in there and whatnot. But, you think you've heard everything about J6, but you really haven't, because they had a walk in DC today, like a march, and it was supporting the J6ers, obviously, because there's still 12 of them, I believe they said, that are still being held, even though a lot of them were pardoned. There were like 1,500 different pardons that went on, and people. Now, this is the sad thing about J6 is, among many things, that there were a lot of people that did get released that unfortunately did commit more crimes or do crimes. Some people were unalive themselves for the scrutiny they went through over J6. So there's a lot of catastrophe that has happened over this, even though it's 5 years later. There's a lot of accountability that still needs to be had. Just like many things, LW, you and I talk about every show. Where is the accountability? And that's what gets frustrating. But the march today was pretty good. They said they want justice. All they were trying to do was talk about the election and how it was stolen. We see all the information that's come out about 2020 and how it was. They wanted to honor Ashley Babbitt in that walk today. Her mother was there walking as well. And they said they're not going to stop until they see justice and there's accountability. Another thing is Michael Byrd, who is the one that unalived Ashley Babbitt, is walking free to this day. And there's some information about him and his wife that I'm going to bring up in a little bit later on in the show. And then Roseanne Balin, also Lila Morris, who was the DC Metro officer that was hitting her with the baton, even though she was unconscious in the crowd, is still walking free as well. So these J6ers went out today in DC doing this march, doing this talk, trying to get people to say, hey, don't forget. They feel like over 85%, I should say, of people in this country have forgotten about J6. They think that because a lot of them were let go, pardoned, and all that, that's the end of the story. But it's not. Many of them lost their homes, they lost jobs, et cetera, et cetera. Their lives were completely destroyed. So that's the downside of it. The upside of it is today, watching the march, it was peaceful, it was wonderful, and they were bringing home the fact that there's this group called Stand in the Gap. It's a support group for J6ers. You guys can Google that if you want to get involved, get up to date on what's going on with who, as far as the J6ers and what their mission is and what you can do to help and make a difference.
Well, on the subject of J6, so let's rewind the clock. Let's go back to that infamous day in history, right? So November of 2020 happened, and a lot of us watched during that day of election landslides happening all over the country, right? Well, of course, the red states stayed red, but a lot of the swing states, which every election, it always hinges on the swing states. And so we were all on the edge of our seat watching the re-election of Donald Trump, and I mean, he was leading big time in a lot of those states. Huge. I mean, like he would say, very huge lead. I mean, I think Pennsylvania was something like 700,000 votes when I went to bed. And then I woke up the next morning and some magical way, Joe Biden was 200,000 votes ahead. And so anyway, long story short, we all know what happened that night, right? It all got super crazy. And then all the evidence started coming out days, weeks, months later, where we saw people showing up late at night to certain drop boxes and unloading all kinds of things. There was voter harvesting. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we stayed on top of that for, good part of 3 years, probably, reporting on that. And of course, we were called election deniers, grifters, you name it. We were called every name in the book. So January 6th of 2021, there was a major rally going on. Donald Trump was at the head of it. And I remember specifically, he said, hey, we're all going to march down to the Capitol peacefully and let our voices be heard. Right? Yes. Skip 2,000 Mules was another video that came out, the documentary that D'Souza did. And we played it here at LWN. Of course, we got taken down because of it. So they all marched down to the Capitol. I think Kathy H was there. There's a few people that were there. And things started to change. And now we come back years later and find out, and I'm not exactly sure on the number, Tammy. I think it was around 62 FBI agents, if I'm not mistaken. It was somewhere around 62 FBI agents were there undercover. And they were ensuing violence. They were ensuing all kinds of different things and trying to get people charged up. Now, did they go into the Capitol? Absolutely. There were people that went into the Capitol. But if you watch all the videos, a lot of it was very, well, just like CNN with the buildings burning in the background, mostly peaceful, right? And I do think that there were a lot of people that went in there with the intent of being very peaceful. Now, were there people breaking windows and doing certain things? Yeah, but even to this day, we're not sure if those weren't FBI agents that were undercover trying to incite violence. And so we go to, I don't know, it was roughly about a year, 18 months after January 6th, when they started arresting people that were there on that day. And they were held in jail for 2.5 years before Donald Trump got reelected a third time. And they were held captive. Now, this is more than just my perspective or my opinion. They were political prisoners, and that can't be disputed. They were held for 2.5 years without due process. And in this country, you have due process. Think of all the libtards out there that scream and whine and cry about the deportation of the illegal aliens in this country that don't have due process, but yet American citizens who are marching freely for their voices to be heard about what happened on November 3rd of 2020, were held against their will without due process. And I think that's a black eye on America. It's a shame. I think the people that are responsible for that, and mostly, the Biden administration and the people that were involved in that, they should be held accountable, and they should be ashamed of themselves for what they did to American citizens.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, because this is, like I said, this is 5 years later. We are seeing nothing from 5 years. I mean, obviously, Trump, that's one of the first things he did when he got into office was put out these pardons for these people. But who is there to pick up the pieces and help them? Were there any programs put in place? Was there anything put in place for these people and what they endured? Obviously, they were very happy to be freed. But like I said, the amount of mental, physical, emotional devastation that they faced, some of them ultimately with their lives, is inexcusable. 5 years later down the road here, we're not seeing anybody held accountable. So with that being said, if we can go to the first video that I sent, and it's Tucker talking with Representative Tim Burchett. This was probably 9 weeks ago, I think, and it's regarding J6. And this was very interesting what Tucker had to say when he was on Fox News trying to cover this. This is it's an eye-opening little video here that I thought will be really good. And then we can go ahead and we'll do the White House link after that, because we've got a video that the White House link did put on there. And I will drop the White House link in the chat again while you're pulling that up.
Okay, hold on. You're trying to boss bitch me right now. When I get it all set up, you're like, just go. So, all right, so I got Tucker all set up here.
Yep, there you go. So, make it, if you can, make it bigger, and then hit play Tucker.
Of course, Tammy. Anything else you would like me to do? Like me to get you a drink? You need a glass of wine?
I need a refresher on my ice water.
You need anything else?
I need a refill on my honey ice water. Here you go.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Back, and I'm like, I understand exactly why they did that. I'm not mad about it at all. I think that Congress should have taken notice that people are really, really mad at Congress, and instead they just ignored it and are like, no, everyone who did it is a Nazi, and we need more security. Really, that's your takeaway? Well, you need more security? Maybe you need to act in a way that people respect, so the country doesn't hate you, because you're supposed to be representing the country.
And the 100+ federal agents that were intertwined.
Well, the whole thing was fake, obviously. I spent a lot of time fighting about this at Fox News. People resigned when I said, I think this was like a setup. Oh, I can't work with a Nazi. It turned out to be true. Here's the point that I'm attempting to make in a long-winded way. If you don't pay any attention at all to how people feel about you when your job is to represent those people, that system can't continue. You're going to get a January 6th, but for real at some point, if you keep acting this way.
It will be an armed situation.
Like actually. Yeah. And a lot of people will applaud it. I'm not rooting for that at all. I'm just saying that's going to happen.
So I think that was a very good point that he
I remember
made
when
messing around. You're supposed to be a representative. We are so fed up. Past here, it's here with these so-called representatives that don't feel like they represent us at all. And he's right. You're going to have that eventually if things don't change, if we don't take care of business, because how much are we supposed to take it before we just don't respond in a way that we feel we need to respond to? I'm not for that at all. We have a country of rule of law and order, our president says, but we do need accountability. And how much longer should we wait? I mean, I'm just fed up. I can't imagine having a loved one that was involved in that, just trying to do what they wanted to do and just go to the Capitol and not cause any problems and then get involved like that and their lives just shattered. That's not America.
Well, I go back and forth on the fence with Tucker Carlson. I'm a big fan of Tucker Carlson. He says a lot of things that I think, and I totally agree what he says. If they're not careful, which I think they want it, I think they're going to get a J6 that they really want. And I agree with him. I think it will be armed. I think it will be precise. I think it will be strategic. And me personally, and I've said this before behind closed doors with you, Tammy, and I said this to Travis last night when he was in chat, I really think that might be the only path to actually we changed the name from swamp to, what was it, sewer last night, right?
Yeah.
Drain the sewer to clean up the sewer. I mean, I just not a big fan of this voting new people in every 2 to 4 years, and they go in with the best of intentions, and then before you know it, they either have to quit, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, or they all of a sudden become compromised. And I think that's another reason why Dan Bongino left the way he did, is he did not want to be compromised, and I think he's better behind the mic anyway. So it's unfortunate, but I truly believe that's the path that we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any other solution at this point in time. And, to bring up Dan Bongino real quick with this, he came out and he's actually threatening the very people, we the people, questioning him and saying, listen, you black pillars and stuff. He gave kind of a nasty statement, LW, and I wasn't real happy with that, because we are the people asking questions. He went in there. We trusted him to go in there and take care of business. He said he was going to take care of business. Now, I understand if he saw things that he'll never unsee. I get it. I get you want to leave and all that, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You changed your mind. You let us down. You know that we were not confident in pretty much anybody much anymore. And, you know, I think it was a big letdown. Like I said, I'm going to give him grace and we'll see how he does with his show. But that's just another example. How many hits in the face are we supposed to take? Now, this with the White House right here, this is the link in the channel that they put up, the website that they put up regarding January 6th. And you can scroll down and it shows you some people and it talks about it a little bit. But what I wanted to play here is right here. It says watch video. It says, I take responsibility, Nancy Pelosi. So scroll down a little more and you'll see it. And play that little bit of video.
Bossing me again.
Right there, right there, right there. You're there.
Responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Oh, horse shit.
They thought that they had sufficient
That
resources.
is not a question of how they have, but they don't know.
Jesus, she sounds like she's drunk. Like two bottles of scotch in already.
Having them just prepare for more.
Okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
That's bullshit because remember, Donald Trump was president and Donald Trump had insisted that they bring in more National Guard. This lion sack of drunkenness here, she denied that. So I think this whole video right here is staged. I do not believe that this was her being real. I think this was all staged because Donald Trump even said it over and over and over again. I told them to bring in more National Guard, to be prepared for things. And matter of fact, I think there is proof out there that Nancy Pelosi sent people home. So to me, this video is all staged.
yeah. Well, it was her daughter that was filming it, and she said, "I have to take responsibility for not having more people there because of the big deal that it was." So that's why the White House put this up. But you can scroll through that whole link, and it does the timeline breakdown. And I just thought if anybody wants a refresher, if anybody wants to see what the White House has put up there on this, that just put up today, scroll through it, and you'll see a lot of all the information you could possibly want. Then I wanted to go to the next video, which is the separate video I sent that says, Nancy, I take responsibility. It was the video that's by itself because it ties into what you just said.
The one that ties into itself.
Yeah, it's by itself.
Oh, the one that's all by itself.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
here we
yeah.
go. Bossing me around again.
No, just helping direct very gently.
Okay, hold on.
And, you know, I see a lot of people in chat saying that Dan Bongino didn't let us down, that his hands were tied, but didn't he know that going in and coming out?
No, I don't believe he did, Tammy. I don't believe that Dan Bongino knew anything other than his president asked him to serve his country. He accepted that honor. And he went in with the intention of rounding people up and prosecuting them and to give the American people, me, you, left, right, black, white, doesn't matter, justice. And that's what we wanted. We wanted justice served. And I think that was Dan Bongino's attempt. And he went in there and, like I said, got overwhelmed with everything. And it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. How come you're muted, Tammy?
Muted me because of the video. But I was going to say, I'll give him grace.
Play more videos.
Go ahead. Play Nancy there. Go ahead.
Let's roll that beautiful Scotch 90 proof footage here.
Refuse the National Guard on January 6th.
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist? Wait a minute. I take responsibility for not having them.
Damn! And this is why this is funny. This is the White House TikTok that put this up. And whoever's running the White House TikTok is doing an amazing job. A lot of them think it's Barron and his friends, but that ties into what you had just said. She's sitting there, she sounds tipsy, saying that shut up.
Way tipsy. Yeah, way tipsy. She's at least a half a bottle in, and I think she drinks half gallons. She don't even drink fifths. She orders that stuff by the truckload, cases and cases of scotch coming in, man. That's just wild.
Well,
wild thing.
It is tying more into January 6th and wounds that don't heal and justice that isn't being served. This is part of what has come out. Michael Byrd, who is the officer who shot Ashley Babbitt, basically allegedly operates an unaccredited home daycare in Maryland, and it's tied to $190 million in HHS funds. And then in one of Joe Biden's last little moments as president, he did pardon Mike Byrd. And basically they're saying that there is video evidence, obviously, of Byrd doing all that to Babbitt and stuff. I don't want to repeat it, but we already been there. We know that, God rest her soul. But anyhow, so basically him and his wife, Kaliska Byrd, they've operated a home-based daycare called Byrd's Family Daycare from their residence in Brandywine, Maryland since 2008. So that's over 17 years that they've been running this unaccredited daycare. And we've been hearing a lot about daycares lately. That's a lot of money that they have apparently made over this. So like I said, he's not paying the price for what he did. There's no justice. There's nothing. He's just made $190 million allegedly with this home care ever since, this happened with Ashley. So this is just more salt in the wound. And that's what we seem to be finding lately. The more we unveil and we see what these people have done on the surface, we dig deeper into their lives and the ties that they have with a lot of, corrupt organizations. And it's just totally disturbing. I can't imagine being Ashley Babbitt's family member and knowing that these people have an unaccredited, which means unrecognized, not great, on the up and up daycare center, and they have all this money. So that kind of was disturbing, but they are checking into it. That's the other thing. There are some investigations that are going on into all these people. It's just a matter of when are they going to be held accountable? Because when you think about all the stuff we talked about, LW, about the different, subpoenas and everything that are going on out there, can our system handle it? Do we have enough lawyers to handle it? Is it going to be all handled in a timely fashion? Or does something major have to happen where everything happens at once?
Well, that goes back to the whole military courts, all the JAG officers that are prepped and ready to go. Is that the direction they're going to take it? A lot of speculation on that, pointing in that direction. Can't say for sure if it is or it isn't, but yeah, the courts will definitely get jammed up. And I mean, the track record for a lot of this stuff is we've never seen any kind of justice for a lot of the stuff that has happened to us, happened to other people. And so I just hope and pray that justice will prevail and that they don't give up and they continue to seek prosecution on these people, and everybody has a right to their day in court and to be defended. And if they're found guilty, then I'd like to see consequences for that stuff, and Nancy Pelosi's at the top of the list, Adam Schiff, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and many more.
Speaking of Lindsey Graham, I was upset because not anybody that I know of likes Lindsey Graham or trusts that man. But he was on Air Force One with Trump the other night. I was like, he was
preaching. And here's the scary thing. So we played that video last night. If you guys want to know the video that we're talking about, you can watch last night's show. Hit that like button, subscribe, share us out. It'd be very helpful as we continue to grow in 2026. But he was talking about what's going on in Venezuela right now. But the scariest part is he now mentions Cuba. He mentioned South America. He mentioned multiple different countries. And I'm sitting there when we played that video last night, Tammy, I was sitting there under my breath going, are you shitting me? Like, here we are policing the world again. It's not enough. Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, supporting Ukraine war, sending them stuff, worrying about Taiwan and all the stuff. Like, I know Trump wants to be the president of no wars, but holy shit, I really feel like we're in it deep in a lot of different areas where it's a tinderbox, man. All it takes is one giant ignition and this whole thing could be upside down quicker than you could shake a stick at it.
Well, this is more breaking news. Speaking of Venezuela, LW, the president just put this out less than an hour ago on his Truth Social, and he said, I am pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America. This oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America to ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States. I have asked Energy Secretary Chris Wright to execute this plan immediately. It will be taken by storage ships and brought directly to unloading docks in the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, that sounds good. And I want that to be true. But remember, this supposedly wasn't about the oil at all. It was about drugs. And it was then about the machines for 2020. Yet here we are, the oil, we've confiscated the oil. They agreed to allow us to have 30 to 50 million barrels of high quality oil. This is the interim authorities. But I thought we went in last night. Didn't we say we went in last night and we were getting them Venezuela and attacking again? So what happened between last night and today? Like, there's a big gap of attacking to now all of a sudden we've got the oil. So things are happening at breakneck speed. And like I said, you have to have trust in the president, because when it's stuff like this that can happen in the blink of an eye, what else choice do you have? I really thought it was about the machines and it was about the drugs. Is it all about all of it? Because then we were brought up, Mexico is a big drug problem too. So we need to be taking care of that. I don't know. Yeah, Lindsey Graham is bad news, you guys. Yes.
I'm going to say this. Trump is a businessman. I think Trump does want to stop the influx of drugs coming to America. I do believe with all my heart that he does want to stop that. But here's the problem. There's a lot of other agencies out there. I won't name them all. You could probably figure them out. 3-letter agencies that use the drug trade to make money and to control, CIA, to control countries and do certain things. So if you really think that we can stop completely the drug trade, I think you're delusional, because that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It makes way too much money. And there's 3-letter agencies out there. It's not going to let that happen. So, of course, you got Trump on one hand, who's calling for it to stop, and he's going to be the guy that stops it, and he's blowing up ships and doing all the right things for sure. And he's also a businessman. So if you don't think for 1 second he couldn't gather up millions and millions of barrels of freaking crude oil and pump it into America, he's going to do that. So is it all about the drugs? I think it's about regime change. I think it's about drugs. I think it's about rare earth minerals, and crude oil is a big one. And they're going to take as much as they possibly can. I think almost every damn conflict and war is fought over at least oil or rare earth minerals. And it is the survival of the fittest. And the big dog on the block is going to take what he can from the little dog. Think about the semiconductors in Taiwan and China. Think about Russia and Ukraine. Like, it's a major problem. And I don't think one guy can solve it all. In my opinion, I think it's going to take more than just Trump, but he's going to put his best foot forward, Tammy. Make sure you read your emails. And I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe, share us out on all your platforms. That'd be wonderful. I got a huge announcement tonight. Huge announcement tonight. So stay tuned. Don't miss out. It'll be at the end of the show tonight, but I got something I want to share with you guys. We're giving back to you, the viewers, all the people that support the channel, who like us, subscribe, share. Big announcement for you guys tonight. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, so I was going to say, add to that by saying I saw a video today that Saddam Hussein said you want to control the world. You want to control the world, control the oil. So that was him saying that back in the day. And then Trump did say today, Trump spoke to the Republicans today, and he had a little conversation about things. And apparently he had stated, I don't understand why people are upset with me because I've got great policies. I don't understand why people are complaining. I got great policies. And I believe, Mr. President, don't go to the GOP members and ask them why people aren't happy with. Come to we the people, because, we can go on and on about how we're going to get a $2,000 credit for income tax, yet you're giving $3,000 to the illegals to self-deport. They're getting more than us, and because under the guise of what's going to save us a lot of money. We've been promised. You told us there were Epstein files, and then you said we were ridiculous for trying to look at the Epstein files, that there's nothing there. So basically it's because, yes, he does have good policies. Yes, we want to see those executed. We want things turned into law, but our Congress and our House and our Senate not done the shit word. Shit word, let's just say. They haven't turned anything into law. They haven't worked on anything. All we're seeing, and this is the first year of his presidency, what has happened? It's all about other countries. It's wars. It's Iran we're hearing about, and we're fighting with people. Why is Venezuela and taking that president out of Venezuela a priority over the stuff here at home? That is why I think a lot of American citizens are getting upset, because there are priorities being done with foreign policy over the American citizen. And he was the America First president. And I know all this stuff, like you say, LW, he's trying his best and he's doing stuff for that. But America is not first and hasn't been first in a very long time. When we're being told there's no inflation, but we're still struggling with groceries, that we were told 50-year mortgages is the way to get people to buy homes. No, 50-year mortgages lead to generational poverty. That's not solutions. We are not seeing solutions to the problems that we as Americans feel are fair to us. And I think that is part of the problem. And I really wish he would go to the American people and ask them, because I think they would be blunt and tell him, because these GOP members, these Lindsey Graham lapping all over him again, these warmonger people are loving every bit of this. And it just is frustrating.
I love this show because you and I go, I like that we can change. Right. So usually I'm the one that's pushing free thought. And if you didn't read my thumbnail yesterday, General Patton said, if everyone's thinking the same, then somebody's not thinking. And so with all the people that want to think the same, I don't want to be the one not thinking. So I'm always pushing the envelope. I'm here on this show to make you think different than maybe what you've been trained to think or whatever. So I like Tammy going this direction tonight, because then I get to sit in the other seat where I'm going to say this. I think Donald Trump's working his ass off, and I think that domestic policy is very important, but so is foreign policy. And there's so much shit in this world right now that's volatile that this guy doesn't quit. He is working. We've seen him many a times, Tammy, where he's coming in on Marine One at 2-3 o'clock in the morning with his tie untied, and he's wore the hell out because he never stops. He told his cabinet, if you're working for me in this term, don't plan on taking weekends off. Don't plan on taking vacations. We're going to work. And I think this guy outworks any and every person out there. There is nobody who works harder than Donald Trump. I will give him that credit because it is due to that man. And so when you're talking about Well, nothing's being done in Congress, and I feel the same way. I really feel like those shitbags are just, they're dragging this whole thing out. They're waiting for midterms. I honestly think that a lot of those rhino Republicans want the Democrats to take the House and the Senate, because then it's a lame duck session for the last 2 years, and they can all just sit there and get paid for 2 years, and they can blame it on the Democrats. They can say, well, the Republicans didn't go to the polls and they didn't vote, and so they let the Democrats have the House or the Senate again, or both, and so we can't do nothing. So it's bullshit, to be honest with you. It's absolute bullshit.
It is, and Trump came out today and said if we don't win the midterms, they're going to impeach me, which they've been trying to do again already. He told us
and
that.
Donald Trump will spend his last 2 years in court fighting impeachment after impeachment after impeachment. And I don't like these rhinos, man. Lindsey Graham, Mitch the Turtle Man, McConnell, like, why is he even still in office? We've seen him have all these different Biden episodes where he's fallen down and he can't speak and he can't think. Why the hell do we got 80 and 90-year-old people running this country? It makes no freaking sense. So,
and that,
again, I'm sticking up for Trump tonight. Usually I'm the one who's always trying to hold him accountable and saying, hey, he ain't doing good enough. But I just feel like people need to hear the truth, and they need to hear the truth about our president. They need to hear the truth about our government. We need to be holding these people accountable. And just for a second, for those of our family and friends that believe that there's going to be a great reset, the best is yet to come, because I think it's possible the best is yet to come. Here's the thing. I said this the other night. If we have this reset, but yet we're still sending money to the Ukraine, and we're still doing this and we're still doing that, if we have a reset and we just keep doing the same shit over and over again, isn't that the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? So yeah, I don't want this to be an echo chamber. I don't want us to all think the same all the time, because I think it's foolish for us to all be programmed to think exactly the same all the time. Because again, if we're all thinking the same, then somebody's not thinking. And I want to be the thinker. I want to think outside the box. I want to look at the facts. I want to hold people accountable. It's just a wicked web that they have weaved, and for us out there trying to knock the cobwebs down, connect the dots, and hold people accountable and make change, it's a difficult path for us to do.
Well, it really is. And this is the thing. I love Trump, and I agree with him working hard. I've always stood up for him in that. I'm talking about the people around him, and I guess my frustration comes in. I'm leaning more towards, we need to wipe it all out and start over. And how does that look? And how do we do that? Because there's nobody that I really trust much more in Congress and the Senate and all that at all. What the lackadaisy work that they have done, the corrupt programs that they're a part of, that's where my frustration comes in. It's like, we see it all. So, he's got to see it all. But what is the end game here? So, that's where my frustration comes in. I'm not knocking him. He is one person.
You're not the only one that feels that frustration, Tammy. There are a lot of Americans out there that feel exactly the same. And rightfully so. I mean, we shouldn't turn a blind eye, and we shouldn't just believe that these people are there to do us any favors, to be honest with you. I'll be very frank with everybody listening tonight. They're not there to do us any damn favors. They are there for one reason and one reason only: to empower themselves, to enslave us, to continue to tax us to frickin' death, and to get filthy ass rich. Think of how many of them have gone in there, worth less than $1 million, and they come out worth multi-millions, like horse teeth AOC. Nancy Pelosi worth $240 million. Well, hell, she's been in there for 65 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like these people are power driven, power hungry, and they want money, they want power, and they want control. And they are there to control each and every one of us. And I'm here to stop it and to put out the truth as much as I possibly can. and to get everyone here thinking. I love your comments. Keep putting your comments
Yeah.
in there. I love the fact that people have different opinions and different perspectives, and they're sharing their ideas. They're sharing their information. I mean, Kathy H. and Carlene are very good, and Mimi are very good with information. They're pulling from other people, so they're putting that in chat. Appreciate that. I appreciate people who don't think the same as us. I appreciate those comments, because it's important for us to look at every angle and not be tunnel visioned and follow blindly anyone. You shouldn't believe everything that I say or Tammy says. You should do your own damn research. Like, when we put this information out there, you should check us. You should go out and look at that stuff and say, hey, are these guys really telling me the truth, or are they pulling this information and it's just bullshit? So even comments in chat, somebody puts a comment in there, check it out, see if it's true. Like, there is a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and bold-faced lies out there from a lot of different influencers, a lot of different government officials. And so it is your job to check that stuff. It's not my job to verify each and every little comment or each and every little thing out there and say, oh yeah, that's 100% truth. You shouldn't believe anything I say. You should check it out yourself.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to some people that bought us some coffees tonight. LW, Pappy, Pappy Bears bought us 3 coffees tonight. Thank you so much for that.
Get it right. Pappy.
It doesn't say that. It says Pappy at Bears, but I know
it's Pappy 2 Bears.
I know. We're giving each other a hard time. We got to take the stress out on each other so we don't take it out on anybody else. Patty J, thank you so much. She bought 5 coffees. She said, Happy New Year. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you guys for being here and sharing everything. Like LW just said, we appreciate your input as well. And then Patriot Girl, thank you. Bought 3 coffees. She said, love all you do. Merry Christmas too. In case you forgot, much love. So
thank you guys. Appreciate that. So
that
puts us at $425. So we are just $75 away from our goal of 500. And then I'm calling Miles Franklin, and I am ordering the silver coins and having them shipped to Tammy. So that's all we need is just $75 more. We hit that goal, and I'll get those coins purchased through Miles Franklin and get it sent over to Tammy. So thank you guys for that, because we're really, really close. I still have a major announcement at the end of tonight, so don't miss it, because it is giving back to you guys. So, and we're going to talk about what your dollar gets you for the entries into the silver coin giveaway and the big announcement tonight. So stay tuned for that, because I want to let you guys know that your dollar goes a lot further than what you probably think.
Yes. So the next topic for tonight is the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. Now, we talked about that a little bit last night as well, LW. And then there was a guy I was talking about. I said, I don't know his name, but he kind of broke this. So the guy's name is Nick Shirley. He's a YouTuber, and he's actually getting credit for ending Tim Walz by exposing the fraud in his state there in Minnesota. He's got like 1.5 million subs, and by using a cell phone and his mom, he set out to learn about the fraud going on in Minnesota with these fake child care programs, this daycare center fraud that's been going on. This is so huge. Now, Kristi Noem was there this morning. Her and Tim Walz have been having a war of the words because Tim Walz was saying, I can't believe you sent all these ICE agents and all these police officers in to arrest somebody in a library. And Kristi Noem was like, well, you got $9 billion that you have been fraudulent with, misappropriated. So because you don't care about this state and the people and the safety because of the fraud, we felt that this was an ample amount of people to come in, and we're going to wipe these people out that are committing this fraud. Now, this fraud, the Somalian daycare fraud, LW, has been going on for a very long time, unfortunately. So my question is this: there's a lot of people that knew about it and did nothing about it because they were getting a piece of the pie, because this money that they get for these false daycares goes right to Somalia and whoever else's pockets that help them. But to commit something in the millions and billions like they have done, it takes a lot of people involved in it. So if you could go to the video, I want to give Nick Shirley credit, and it's him talking, just one example. And I wanted to introduce our audience to Nick Shirley so they can look at him as well, because
Nick Shirley is the one that you want.
Yep,
Okay.
down there. Yep,
it ready.
Nick Shirley.
I get it.
Yep. Okay,
I
go
get it
ahead and
ready.
get it ready. Get it ready there, LW. But basically, so this kid, you guys, took a cell phone and his mom, and he uncovered way more than any news agency, any politician. And actually, Sean Ryan, who LW and I really like, is actually doing an interview with him about everything he's been through. So let's go ahead and listen just to this little video here real quick.
Okay.
But a blatant fraud is taking place within the government and the Somalian population. Right here, you see a daycare center. It says it's Creative Minds Daycare. Creative Minds Daycare was actually shut down and was reopened the next day underneath the name Super Kids. And just in the past year, in 2025, this daycare alone has received $2.45 million.
Shit.
It's rumored here that some of these daycares and these other businesses that are committing fraud have been rumored to be giving money back to terrorist groups in Somalia. There's a 35% chance on Polymarket right now that those people who helped defraud the government will be deported back to Somalia. But this daycare alone received over $2.45 million. So maybe if you want to become a millionaire here in the United States, you should open up a daycare center and receive government funding from a governor like Tim Walz here inside the state of Minnesota, because these people are making $2.45 million. And right now you have a BMW, Range Rover, BMW, and a van outside of this daycare center here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Here in Minnesota,
so basically, this kid has unveiled all this. Tim Walz said, "Oh,
Pisses me off."
Oh, that's just one little thing, because it's billions of dollars, and he's got video after video going across that state, finding all this corruption and stuff. So
it's your taxpayer money.
yes.
It's your taxpayer money. When you guys get so pissed because you look at your Social Security check or you look at your paycheck every Friday and you see, like mine, they take anywhere from 27 to 32% out of my check here in Idaho. And when they take money out of your Social Security check and you wonder where that damn money's going, well, some of it's going to bullshit like this. It's going to take the entire country to clean this shit up. I truly believe it is so corrupt at every level of government, whether it's city, whether it's county, whether it's state, federal. They're all corrupt. They're all getting completely wealthy off of you and me and our backs, and they're laughing at us. They are calling us stupid Americans, that we continue to pay taxes and we continue to swallow this pill and not stand up for what's right and call it what it is. It's corrupt, and it's time for a massive, and I mean a massive change.
Well, wait until you see the ties to this, because it's not just Minnesota. They're investigating California and everything else as well, these other states. But it's $100 billion in fraud, LW. He also exposed the corrupt voting system there. Walz and Ilhan Omar's alleged involvement with the fraud, because we know about Ilhan Omar, right? We've heard a lot about her. Also, how Somalians have defrauded the system. But this is the big one. The Lutheran Church was importing Somalians, and guess who it was that was leading the way with NGOs and additional NGOs over $100 million to bring the Somalians and dump them in Minnesota? It was Barack Hussein Obama who paid the Lutheran Church for this. So this kid is uncovering all this. He said Obama funded it, and he's got all these interviews on his channel now. There's a list of NGOs that Barack Obama paid to bring the Somalians into America. And some of them include the Church World Service, Episcopal Migration Ministries, International Rescue Committee, United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, Migration and Refugee Services, World Relief Corporation, and it goes on and on and on. Roughly $108 million total funding specifically tied to Somali arrivals. And this kid has put his neck on the line and exposed all this. So if he can do that, we sure as hell should be able to do something. This poor kid now has 24/7 security, LW.
Yeah,
Elon Musk, you have to. Elon Musk.
Or you're going to end up like Charlie Kirk.
Yes. Unfortunately, you're correct. Elon Musk has been reposting and retweeting his videos. He said we need to investigate this. So, like I said, as of this morning, Kristi Noem, DHS, we're in Minneapolis and Minnesota, and they are taking it seriously. But when you stop and think, LW, you're talking billions of dollars in Somalia daycare fraud. Who would have figured that one? Who would have ever thought of that? And it's been going on.
They find all kinds of ways to hide that money.
Yes.
Listen, Congress, our government is nothing more than a laundering fucking scheme. They launder money to Russia and Kuwait, or no, not Kuwait, Ukraine. They brain fog. They launder money to Ukraine. They launder money to Taiwan. They launder money to all these different countries, Israel included. Then they turn around, they launder money to daycares. They launder money to all kinds of big pharma and government and all this other stuff. It's just an absolute laundering scheme, and these sons of bitches are getting rich, and we continue to stay poor, and it's ridiculous. And here we go. Okay, I got it. I got this other video ready for you to go.
Okay. Which one?
California.
Okay, so that's the next thing. It's the last video, and it's about a Trump post and video regarding fraud in California that we said that we are talking about. This is spreading. This is a kind of fraud we never knew it really existed, and it is deep, and it's billions. It's billions of dollars. We have been bled dry for years and years and years. So let's go ahead and play that.
I totally agree with Mimi's comment here where she says we need a new attorney general.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. Totally
I do too. Yes.
Saying under Governor Gavin Newsom's leadership, it has become the, quote, fraud capital of America.
And we have team coverage. Our national correspondent, Alana Austin, is on Capitol Hill with more on the investigations into Tim Walz. But we start with correspondent Heather Myers, who has more on what is going on in California. A rainy day out there on the West Coast. Heather, what can you tell us?
Well, good afternoon to you, Katrina and Andrew. This latest report was issued by the state auditor, and that's a nonpartisan position. That state auditor now puts 8 state agencies on a high-risk list of agencies to watch out for things like fraud and mismanagement, as well as waste. Here's a look at that 92-page report. Newly added to the high-risk list is California's food stamp program. If the state doesn't get the improper payments under control, it could cost an extra $2.5 billion. Also on there is the Department of Finance, which was tasked with giving out COVID relief funds. Critics say $32 billion of that was taken by fraudsters. Then there are infrastructure issues like California's deteriorating dams and also the high-speed train that's already cost taxpayers $18 billion without a single section of track complete. Other reports cite $24 billion spent on the homeless issue that critics claim the state lost track of. More recently, there's a report that says California cell phone users paid a surcharge for years to upgrade the state's 911 system. Here's Congressman Kevin Kiley talking
Don't even
about
want to hear
what
this
happened
shit.
to that plan.
Don't want to hear this shit.
$650 million on that system. The state is totally scrapping it and starting over, completely wasted the money because the technology doesn't work. Mind you, we are very close to Silicon Valley in Sacramento, and yet the government can't figure out how to make basic technology perform.
So that's a whole nother can of worms just opened there in California with the SNAP program, and then the whole, like you said, the system that's not working. They spent all this supposedly spent all this money on, but they're canceling, and I'm sure they pocketed it. You know, they're saying it didn't work. But
Tammy, you want to know why I'm so pissed?
Yeah.
You want to know why I'm so pissed? Because I don't think people actually pay attention to your subscriptions that you sign up for and then forget. That's why they love an automatic withdrawal from your account, is because you'll subscribe to something and then forget about it, and it keeps taking it out, whether it's $2 a month, $5 a month, $25 a month, $100 a month. It just goes on for fucking ever, honestly. And I do that. And so then when you start talking about cell phone bills and internet bills and stuff, they have all these surcharges and shit. I remember when I was with Verizon, I was getting some kind of surcharge for calling out of country. And I called them up one time when I finally looked at my bill and saw that. And I'm like, why are you charging me for calling out of country? I've never called out of country. I know nobody out of country. And they were charging me like $3-4 a month every month for this. And I caught them. So think of the millions and the billions of dollars that they are screwing you, the American people, out of your taxes, out of your subscriptions, out of your cell phone bills. I mean, we could be, when we talk Nasara Jasara, when we talk about the Great Reset, if we could just wipe out all that shit, we would be wealthy. We would have money. We would not be struggling. And that's part of the slavery. We are enslaved to these people. They have figured out all kinds of little ways of screwing us and enslaving us and hitting us for $5 here and $10 there and $25 there. And then they take 30% of your damn check. And then they hit our senior citizens out there for their security, Social Security check every month. It is unbelievable the amount of corruption and the amount of laundering money that the American citizen has to go through on a daily and a monthly thing. And then you turn around and you talk about Somalians and all these illegals. We give them free money and free EBT and free housing and free this and free that. Well, our veterans out there, some of them are homeless and hungry and they have PTSD and they need help. It is just a racket, man. I'm telling you, it is the craziest shit. And this pisses me off to sit here and listen to these people from California that are getting the shaft. And no wonder they're fleeing California and Oregon and Washington and moving here to the Boise Valley. They can't take it anymore. And I don't blame them. Just don't come to my state and start turning it blue. That's right. my request for everybody who's fleeing California. And I got my California shirt on tonight.
Yep. You're from there.
Well,
yeah.
I can't see with the mic, but there's my California shirt.
Yeah.
That's the California Grizzly Bear. It's a beautiful shirt. Just don't come to my state and turn it blue. I don't want it blue.
Well, yeah, I agree. And most people do. Obviously, that makes common sense but then the people that come here from these countries that are supposedly
they want to turn it in, they want to turn it into Sharia law. They want to turn it into where they came from. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Hey, read your email because we just moved the line. We just moved the line to $450. So we're just $50 away from our goal.
It says, Big Pete 1961 bought us 5 coffees. Thank you so much for the donation to the show and program. We really appreciate it so much. Pete. Yes. Well, Mandami, I don't know if you heard this, but because remember, everything was supposed to be free transit, free this, free that. Guess what? He's already raised fares like by $3 or $5 cab fares.
It's all a scam. It's a fucking scam. They suck you in with free this, free that. There is nothing in life free.
No.
Nothing in life is free. And they suck you in with this free shit. And then people get pissed when they turn around and say, "Oh no, it's not free. We're gonna up everything." Well, you're the sucker. You're the dumbass that fell for it in the first place. I don't feel sorry for you.
And like you said, just think about the few things that we've talked about on the last few shows that we've done, LW. But the amounts of money it's billions of dollars. You're exactly right. If people were not so freaking corrupt with their hands out, their mouth open, we would be very rich because, Trump did say also, he put out another statement that said, we are going to rise from the ashes, which is a new one. He said, give it a year.
Trump said this, which I agree with Kathy H 1,000%. Socialism has never worked and never will. And Trump said, we will not become a country of socialism. So what does that mean? Because they are trying to cram it down our throats, folks.
Yeah.
And we have to fight like hell to make sure that does not happen. And my aunt says speech is not free, and it's not free. We've died for that. Our veterans have died and bled and sacrificed everything to ensure that we have free speech. But yet we were censored for 4 years during the Biden administration. I'll say it a million times, and I'm not afraid to say it. I was frickin' censored for 4 years. I was taken down. We've lost thousands and tens of thousands of subscribers. I've lost a lot of money because we were censored. We were taken down. And it was communism. We were on the verge of 4 years of communism. That's how close we were.
Mm-hmm. I see it now in Love Pug. I heard that too. They were playing that in New York City. It's not just Michigan, it's New York City. It's all over. These people, like LW said, are laughing at us. They're taking our money, they're taking our homes, they're taking our jobs, and they think it's hilarious. They are laughing.
The New World Order, they've said that you will own nothing and you will be happy, and they 1000% they mean it. They want, BlackRock and them, they're going around, they're buying up these subdivisions here in Idaho. Yeah. There are subdivisions that's nothing but rentals. Now, I don't know if you have it, and here's a question for chat. Where you live right now, and I don't care if you're watching us live or you watch us later, go ahead and make a comment if you watch us later, because I'd like to know where you live now in your state, in your county, in your little town. Are there any subdivisions around you that are bought up and are 100% rentals? Because about a year and a half ago, there was a little subdivision that I went in, and I was renting a house. Noah and I went and rented this house, and the whole subdivision, there was probably 80 homes. They're all $400,000 to $500,000 homes, and they were all rentals.
Wow.
BlackRock owned every one of them damn houses, and they have said, the Economic Forum, New World Order, the Economic Forum has said multiple times, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And they are trying to break us. They are trying to keep us poor and enslaved because they want to own everything. And here's the thing. We'll be slaves for a while, Tammy, but then we talk about the AI, and that's a whole nother show.
Oh, yeah.
AI is taking over. Here's a thought, folks. After AI takes a lot of these jobs and stuff, and they don't need the population anymore, what are they going to do to the population? That's my question to you. What do you think, if this thing goes the bad direction, what do you think they're going to do to the population of the world if AI is doing everything for us? Me personally, I think Bill Gates has a big hand in that.
Oh, yeah. The AI thing makes me nauseous, but I was going to say, here in my little town, they built houses and subdivisions like crazy, and they're right on top of each other. They're smaller homes. There's no space in between them. Now they've pretty much run out of land, and what they're doing is they're going up, LW. In the downtown areas, they are building up, and they're calling them like luxury townhomes where you're stacked on top of one another. They don't care if there's only 12 units in there or if there's enough space for 50 units, but they're going up is what they're doing. And nobody wants that because it's ruining the whole landscape of where we're at here. And unfortunately, a town that isn't far from me is farmers, where you have to have at least 5 acres, right? They don't sell homes unless you have at least 5 acres. It's country, right? It's farmland. But what's happening now is a lot of the people, obviously the farming industry is not doing great, or they're old and they want to retire. They get out, they're selling it up, but then they're allowing to break it up in these units. And people are furious because it's like a dirt road. And when you had like maybe 10 houses on that road, they break it up into 5 acre parcels, and they're not adding road. So the country people it's not country anymore so much, and they're having a fit over it. And this has been going on for a long time. So yeah, I see a problem with all of that. Nobody is allowed to really own land anymore. It is like rent your house, or
they don't want you to.
They don't want you to at all. No. But yeah, the building is too much building, and it's not roads. They're not doing anything with roads, and everything's right on top of each other. Like where I live, the main intersection, we've got one intersection, and it's and it connects all the towns, right? That thing is backed up for miles, and they're still building on it, just strip malls and all kinds of stuff. And people are fuming. And it's like, we get involved with the city council meetings. We put our 2 cents in, but you know what? When people have people that are being bought and paid for, it doesn't matter. Their friends get in, get the builder's permits, get the jobs, they help each other. And it's just disgusting. We've been fighting that a lot here in about 3 or 4 little towns around me. And it's unfortunate because it's nothing like it used to be at all. And they're trying to modernize it. They're trying to make it like very, modern. Everything is like fancy and no, you own anything. A lot of people, the stores that are coming in, I don't even know how the heck they can stay into business because nobody shops in them. Nobody's going to go into a furniture store in a strip mall that is like $5,000 for a couch. There's nobody I know around here, at least, that can afford shit like that. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like Carlene's comment that I put up there on the screen. I look forward to the day when we have some major change and we're not working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week anymore, just so that just to pay the bills. So I'm hoping that when that change happens, it'd be nice to get those hours down. So
how nice would that be to be able to have dinner with your family, take it easy, work 4 or 5 days a week, and that's it, 8 hours a day. This 10, 12, 14 hours, 6 days a week is ridiculous. People having 2 and 3 jobs. Our lives were never meant to be like that. And I just hope that we live to see the complete downfall of everything corporate and everything bad and see a rebirth of good. I think that it'll be a while yet because nothing happens overnight. But man, living like this stinks for so many people. These young kids are struggling. It's hard. Mm-hmm. And even though Trump is saying there's plenty of jobs out there, I'm not seeing them. I don't know about where you are, but I'm not seeing them.
Conservative Cowboy put a comment over there in Rumble, and I grabbed it and put it over here in chat. It says, with all the property taxes, you won't own your property now. We lease it from the state governments. We need states to end property tax. Totally agree with that statement.
Yeah.
If you guys agree with that statement, put a comment there in chat. Comment later if you're watching this in a rerun. But do you guys believe that we should be paying property tax? Because I don't believe we should be paying property tax. I believe what Conservative Cowboy, and I know that there's a huge push for that right now. I know Trump has brought it up multiple times where they're wanting to do away with property tax. But once we get taxed so many times, so many different times, tax. Property tax shouldn't be something that you have to pay. I think paying a tax on stuff you purchase should be the only tax you pay and just be done with it. Like there shouldn't be an income tax. There shouldn't be a property tax. Once you buy the property, you pay tax one time. That's it. Once you buy a vehicle, you pay tax one time. That's it. There's so many taxes. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I think that our founding fathers were so upset about taxes from England. I think it was somewhere around 3% that they were mad as hell that they were paying 3% tax. And I could be wrong on this. I just seem to remember in my brain it was somewhere around there. And that led to, with other things as well, led to a revolution as they were overtaxed at 3%. I just told you I'm paying anywhere from 27 to 32% tax just for my income alone. And then I pay gas tax, I pay road tax, I pay registration tax on my vehicle, I pay property tax, I pay grocery tax, I pay all these other taxes on top of 27 to 32% income tax. It's insanity. Why the hell are we not fighting our asses off to get this shit changed?
Well, there's no way to get ahead. That's the problem. And when you look at these generations of kids coming up, the 20-somethings, maybe not the 30-somethings as much, but 20-somethings and down under, look at how devastating it is for them to think I can't even afford a house, let alone a car. New vehicles are ridiculous. It isn't old people bitching here, LW. It's like life is not supposed to be like this, and it's getting worse and worse. So I'm all for fine if it's going to be rough, but we've got to have some people that we can trust in besides just the president or imaginary things that we can't see or riddles. Even if they're true, you guys in chat, let me know this if you're tired of this. Aren't you tired of everything being a riddle for you to figure out? And when the riddle doesn't come out the way that you think it should at the time it should, well, that's because there was a change. And really that riddle wasn't the right riddle to get to the path of the riddle that we really need to be on. It is frying my brain. Nothing is simple and easy and clean and clear. It is all like a game, a mind game, psyops, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think there's any innocent parties in this at all. And I think the president has to do them as well, because if you notice and this is something I noticed with him, when people start complaining or getting upset with him, he starts doing the Q stuff again. It's almost like, don't forget I'm here, and it's Q. Like it goes away for a while, and then we're all happy, and then we get upset with him, and he brings back Q, and then he brings back central casting, which went away for a while. So, I mean, I'm tired of the riddles. How many riddles do we need to solve before we get to the end game that benefits we the people?
They make it complicated on purpose so that you're constantly confused. They don't want you to know the truth, and they don't want you to know what the hell's going on, because if you figured it out, and like you said, if you knew what Verizon was doing in California, or you knew what they were doing behind the scenes with your money, you'd be so mad as hell that we'd make J6 look like a freaking picnic, right? So our brother John Estabrook says, Mike, just think about all those people you're helping. You're funding wars to protect poor people around the world. Here's something else that I know to be true. We are funding people's pensions and salaries in Ukraine with your tax dollars. So they have sent all that billions of dollars over to Ukraine, and we're funding people's pensions. A lot of us don't even have a frickin' pension or retirement. We've worked our frickin' asses off for decades, and a lot of people are living on just Social Security. They don't even have a pension. But yet my taxes and your taxes are going to Ukraine to fund firefighters and policemen and all the other people in Ukraine, funding their retirements. And it's not just Ukraine. It's all over the damn world. Think about that. John Estabrook is telling the truth. We are funding people. We are paying for all kinds of stuff with our tax dollars, and we're mad as hell tonight, but we're going to go to bed. We're going to wake up tomorrow. We're going to do it again. We're going to go to work. We're going to get up. We're going to live our lives. And then in a couple more days, we'll have another show. We'll talk about this shit again. We'll get mad as hell, and everybody in chat will be putting all kinds of comments in there, mad as hell as well. But what are we really doing about it, Tammy?
I don't know. And I don't know why the U.S. is the one that is getting it in the rear all the time. I do know
because we tolerate it, because we've allowed the people that we have elected or have been selected, whatever you believe, we've allowed them to continue to spend our money the way they want to spend our money, because they get kickbacks and because they launder this money and they get filthy rich off this shit. We've allowed it to happen. If we go back 200 years and start tar and feathering people and using rope, swinging and branches on trees, we went back to days like that. And lobbyists. Thank you, Miss Mischief. Yeah. Lobbyists, same damn thing. The lobbyists run this country as well, and they are funding our representatives, our congressmen and women, and it's a circle jerk of frickin' corruption and money laundering, and the list just goes on and on and on.
Well, that doesn't happen in China and Ukraine and all that. They just, you know what I'm saying? That we are always funding everybody else. We don't make people pay.
Always. We fund the wars.
It's just dumb.
We fund the wars. We fund Israel. We fund Ukraine. Yeah. We just fund and fund and fund. It's like just a vicious circle over and over and over again.
Well, I just want it done. I just want it done. I think everybody can agree with that. I think there's more people in this country that want it done and over with than there's people that don't want to put up with it some more. It's way past liking Trump or not. It's like, people, do you want your kids and your grandkids to be able to survive and have a great country to live in or not? Or do you want them to be enslaved even more so than we are? That's where we're at. Michael or Michelle Gale, thank you. Michelle Gale bought us LW 3 coffees, said, thank you for everything that you guys do for the community. We appreciate it.
We do, and that just moved the bar to 465. We are so close.
Very nice, you guys.
We are so close to hitting the goal of 500. Once we hit that goal of 500, I'm calling Justin at Miles Franklin, and I'm ordering $500 worth of silver coins for the next giveaway, which will be the end of March. So we're doing it by quarter. So first quarter is end of March, and that's when the next giveaway is going to be. So we're awful stinking close to the goal of 500.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. That's amazing. Well, that's what I have for tonight, LW. I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover or just the big announcement, but I'm fired up. And
it's a big announcement. It's coming.
I don't.
Few minutes.
I'm not trying to bitch, and it's like, but this is our reality. And the thing is, what do? We have to hope that it all comes down, because I'll tell you what, we said get involved locally. And you know what? I think a lot of people did do that. I think a lot of people did that. But this is the problem. The more you dig into this crap and the more frauds you find, and you find the wicked web that they've woven for years, like the Somalian stuff, it's like, well, yeah, go ahead and complain to your local congressman or whatever. They aren't going to do jack shiitake with it. When you see how wide and deep it is, they're not going to do anything. And that is why this kid that I was talking about, Nick Shirley, why his life is being threatened, because he's taken their money away from them. That what they think is their money, it's our money. But come on, people, if there's a 23-year-old that can unveil all this, that tells you how corrupt the media, because the media was attacking this dude too. They're like, how do we know you're right? So he said he was investigated by the media instead of the media investigating the corruption. So that's another whammy people go up against. It's insanity. And I
tell you what, this corruption, we should never have not one veteran who has served our country proudly. They should always have the medical that they need, help with PTSD. They should never have to wait in line. They should always be moved to the front of the line. We should never have a veteran that's hungry. We should never have a veteran that can't clothe themselves. We should never have a veteran that ever has to sleep on the street. This is America. And our veterans should always be taken care of to 100%. Never, ever should I ever have to do an interview with a veteran on the street. And it's shameful. And if you want to know who is responsible for that and who should be held accountable for that, it's your congressmen and women. And President Trump is one of the only presidents in the last few decades that have put our military first. Donald Trump is 100% all about our military and our veterans and taking care of them. Biden didn't give a shit. Remember when Jill Biden came out and brought him cookies? Are you shitting me?
In the garage.
And Trump put them up in hotels. Even Obama apologized for being American. He allowed our Navy men and women to get captured. Like, it's such a shit show, and we should never, ever have our veterans ever want or need for anything. They've served proudly. They have kept this country as free as it could be, and it's ridiculous that we have these people in need. Look at how close we are to our goal tonight, Tammy.
Well,
we just got a couple more. So I sent them.
Yes, we got Patrick Landrum bought us 3 coffees. Thank you, Patrick. He says, I just hope we live to see these dirty politicians get prosecuted for their crimes. Only time will tell. Amen to that. I think we're all on board on that ship there, Patrick. And I want to say thanks, LW, to Twister Girl 1, who bought us 3 coffees. She said, love y'all, stand strong. Well, we'll stand strong. We get a little upset and a little bent here and there. but we're standing strong. We're not going anywhere.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go first for final thought. Don't leave yet, folks, because my final thought's going to be the big announcement. So hold on to that. Don't leave. Go ahead, Tammy, your final thought.
I'm going to say this is America, land of the brave and the free. Never forget that. And that is what keeps me going. My faith in that and these good people in our chat. So thank you guys for keeping us motivated, helping us out, and just making us feel like a great community. There's a lot of good people out there, and good does win over evil. And that's my final thought.
All right. Amen. Well, here's my final thought. Here's my big announcement for you guys tonight. So I love you guys so much. Thank you. Whether you just show up, much appreciated. If you hit that like button, much appreciated. If you have followed us, subscribe to us, become a follower, much appreciated. If you guys are sharing us out, I know a lot of you share us out on all of your different platforms. I'm scrolling through platforms and I see us pop up here and there for you guys that are sharing us out. Much appreciated. And for those of you who can afford to and do choose to support this channel, keep us free, keep the lights on, keep the internet going, and keep us with Jeff B, keeping these t-shirts and the merchandise coming out and giving back to you guys. Here's my biggest giveaway that I've ever done. So we have done silver coins, we have done t-shirts, we've done gift certificates, we've done all kinds of really neat stuff over the years. And the end of first quarter, which is going to be somewhere around the end of March. I don't know what day it will fall on. You're not going to want to miss it, but it will be sometime in the last week of March will be the end of first quarter. We're going to do the biggest giveaway we've ever done. So we're going to do the silver coins. Jeff B has got not one, but $200 gift certificates to our store. You guys can go in there and buy $100 worth of merchandise. And before I make the announcement, Tammy, so for every $5 that you guys either donate through coffees, or if you buy a t-shirt for $15 or $16, whatever they are, for every $5 worth of coffees or merchandise that you buy, that is going to be one entry into our quarter drawing. So if you buy a $15 t-shirt, you've got 3 entries. You buy us 3 coffees, you got 3 entries. You buy us, 100 coffees, you've got 20 entries there. So here's the big announcement. Here's what I'm going to give away at the end of this first quarter this year. It's going to be a Z Grill. Woo-hoo! So just in time for summer, I'm going to pick one of these amazing grills. And if your name is drawn at the end of March, the last week of March, if your name is drawn for that grill, I need you to reach out to Tammy via email, send us your shipping address, and I'm going to ship you one of these pellet grill smokers. I have one.
Coolest thing.
I have one, and it's truly amazing. So if you don't know this about Z Grill actually used to make Trigger, and Trigger got so expensive, Z Grill pulled away. You can buy Z Grill at my favorite store, Buy Mart. You can find them online as well. And so I've had this Z Grill for almost 2 years. It is better than a Trigger. It holds temperature better. It goes through pellets a lot less than Trigger does. You can get, and I'll probably go ahead and do a Wi-Fi one so you can hook it to your phone. I love grilling on this grill. It is the best grill, in my opinion, on the market. I've used a lot of different smokers over the years. I've been a Trigger guy for well over 10 years. I won't buy another Trigger. Buy another Trigger. So if you have donated coffees in the last, ever since December 8th.
Yep.
Since December 8th, if you've bought any coffees, for every $5 coffee that you have donated to this show, that's one entry into the giveaway at the end of the quarter, and your name is going to go into the drawing for one of these Z Grills. And any merchandise that you guys have bought from the beginning, from the start, which is about November-ish.
Yeah.
For every $5 that you have spent in that store, that's one entry. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you guys at the end of March. Like I said, biggest giveaway that we've ever done. Super excited to share this with you guys. I think whoever wins this, you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to make many, many memories with your family on this grill. And Shit, I wish I could slap a LWN sticker on that thing before we
You could.
it out,
You
but
could.
it's probably not going to happen. Here's the other thing that if you guys don't know this, and maybe any of you in chat, so Jeff, when he's shipping the merchandise to you guys, he's throwing in special gifts, and I got to get Jeff on the hook for that next Monday when we have our show, Brandy and Cigars with Jeff B. I want to get him on the hook because I know he said he's been throwing stickers in some of the boxes that he's shipping out. I don't know. I might come up with something else special for that as well. So who knows? You open up your box from Jeff B with your shirt, and you might get an extra gift in there. So check that out. Love y'all. God bless. I'm so excited for 2026. It's going to be the best year ever. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe, share us out. Tammy, any last words?
I like the LWN grill apron, Patriot Girl said. And you guys take it from LW. This guy cooks a lot of meat. So if he says it's a good grill, it's a good grill. He's always cooking meat. He is. He's a meat eater for sure.
Damn near professional on the grill. So,
That's so cool.
I don't cook anything bad.
That's awesome. So it's a fun giveaway. It's going to be a big deal. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Well, God bless you. I don't know when we'll be back. It could be any night, but for sure on Monday. And I just hope that you guys have a wonderful week. The first week of January of 2026 is amazing. And we have the best mods in the business. I know that Kathy H said that earlier. I'm going to echo that. We have the best mods in the business. Love y'all. God bless. And catch you on the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Oh,
Wings.
wait. Burning wings.